So I think you've all heard this before. Most of you heard it a lot of times before. Of course, you really haven't. This is always completely new. Even though it can still feel like I'm repeating myself, and it might you might question why you listen to the same words being spoken over and over again. But really, it's always fresh. It's always new. These words haven't been spoken before. You've not heard them before. There is no before and no after. The only thing that precedes this is a story. The only thing that comes after this is a story, imagination. The only thing you can say about this is a story about this, not this. This is, whether it's spoken about or not, is the entirety. This is all there is. This is all there isn't. There's simply nothing else. Nothing more or less. Just what seems to be going on. And there's nothing going on. Just what seems to be going on. I always wanted to know what was behind this, behind what seemed to be happening. Deeper. To know what it meant. Life. What does it mean? What's it for? What's the purpose? And of course, most of all, I wanted to know what my purpose was. What's the meaning of my life? What is the meaning of existence? All of this search for meaning. And unlike most stories you could hear about what life means, this is the story that suggests that there isn't any meaning, no absolute meaning. All meaning is relative. And so there are as many meanings as there are human beings. We seem to be quite obsessively meaning-creating creatures. We create meaning from the simple appearance of life. We kind of demand it. We demand that there must be more to life than just what's going on. So the very disappointing suggestion is that there isn't more to life than what's going on. That's all. Just what seems to be going on. And in that, it can feel disappointing because there isn't any more. But there's great liberation in from the incessant need to know more, to understand more. And there's a peace in that that does pass all understanding. It doesn't make sense. It's peace from the need for life to make sense. Even if there is still trying to make sense, there's even peace in that, because that's simply how life is happening, how it seems to be. So I haven't made any sense of life. I haven't worked it out. I haven't come to a conclusion. I haven't come to a resting place. I haven't attained anything. I haven't realized anything. It's simply that there's nothing to be realized. This is realized. Maybe not in the sense of how the word realized is used in spiritual circles, where there is a realization. I don't mean it in that way. I mean that this is all that's real. So it seems that I've stopped looking for other realities, other dimensions, other states. And that this is enough, even if it feels not enough, that's enough. This is okay, whether it feels okay or not. This is at peace, whether there's the appearance of peace or not. That's why it's not rational or logical. It doesn't make sense that it's okay that everything is not okay. I don't live in a state of bliss or tranquility. And the peace I speak of is not a state of peace. All states, all experience just comes and goes. In fact, the illusion is that it actually stays as an experience for a length of time. Even that's not true. And this is a story, but it does seem that the more I speak about this, the more obvious it is that the less I know. The less knowing. The more undoubted the uncertainty is. It's everything you don't want. Self wants at least some semblance of certainty. You know, I don't need, you know, I always wanted the whole answer. I always wanted to know completely. You know, I didn't want part of the package. I wanted the full deal. To know what was absolutely true and what was absolutely real. That's not what's being spoken of. And I don't know why it's undoubted, but I don't doubt now that no one knows. And the doubtlessness feels like love. I don't have any desire to ask any other human being about their experience in the way that might bring me closer. That's what seems to have died. There is no possibility that anyone is closer. Isn't that wonderful? Dreadfully wonderful. No one. I mean no one. No human being knows more about life than you. What you've called you. The human being you've called you. That there are no. And again, I don't know this, but I don't doubt it. There are no avatars. There are no human beings who are godlike any more than any other human being is godlike. And that equality, that same human being of being human is liberating and loving in a way that I would never have imagined, because it's too simple. It's just this annihilation of specialness. And ordinariness is more special than specialness could ever be. Whilst there's the sense that there are special human beings, or special beings of any kind, so you could say just being. And in an absolute sense, you know, a rock is just as special as a human being. But being a human being, of course, you can't help but have more affinity and more love for other human beings than rocks. And yet it can still be very obvious that the rocks are not inferior to the human beings. Well, it's lovely to see you all. Thanks for coming. That's my blurb for today. If you'd like to share anything or you'd like to ask a question, then feel free to do that. I'll say now, there won't be a meeting next week, probably, because I'm going to the States next week. And I'll do a double plug, I think. There's still some places available for, if you're if you're in the Sacramento, Folsom vicinity of Northern California next week, then I'm speaking on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And all the details are on my website. And again, and also thanks to everybody who came to Copenhagen last week and made it a lovely, lovely weekend. Oh, and the other thing is Annette has already edited the videos, and all the videos are on my YouTube channel. All the talks from Copenhagen, they're all on YouTube.
Stephen has his hand up.
Hi, Stephen.
Oh, Stefan, sorry.
Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, hey,
Stefan. Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah.
It's got to do with just the last 4 or 5 days has been a kind of framing of kind of reality life type thing, whereby there's no kind of knowing, or rather, if something is kind of known, then there's a kind of center that's reified, and it becomes a kind of distraction. So just quickly, so I was initially sort of identified with the body, then I kind of identified with this kind of gaseous cloud of beingness. You know, it's sort of out there, and it's sort of not here, not inside and out. It was an idea of like sort of, you know what I mean? And then about 4 or 5 days ago, it was just sort of looking at the self and looking at the sort of flavor, the idea of the self, and like ownership, because, you know, that's what a lot of non-dual teachers talk about, is ownership of sort of ideas and this, that, and the other. And it was like, it was sort of felt kind of like a step back. So I could sort of see that the self is a thought. Especially like now, like there's a lot of sort of charge now, because I'm feeling quite self-conscious. I'm speaking to you, a lot of eyes on me. So the sense of self is quite big, but there's also the kind of framing, I don't have a better word for it, that's just a thought. That's just a thought. And any thought can come up, any thought, and everything's just a thought. And there's no center. There's a little bit of confusion here, because just quickly, like I've done like 20 years of like improving the self spirituality, which is sort of going into emotions and, you know, dealing with a child and sort of transmuting it to bliss. And it's really juicy and it's really nice. And it is, because you know, you can sort of.
Oh, yeah. Well, so yeah. Oh, I mean, I love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just had a quick question. So when I'm kind of, you know, in this kind of, it's like just a framing and reframing and just not really seeing myself as anything. So what arises is kind of like boredom, because I can't really go anywhere. It's a bit like, and it's a bit anxious. I feel quite, and frustrated. Frustrated is not the best word, but there's a temptation to go into the feeling.
Yeah.
Or frustration or of anxiety, but that's just reifying a center. It's almost like that's not an option anymore. If I have to be careful with words here, but if
you don't have to be careful with words, Stefan, say what you like.
Okay, cool. So if this framing of sort of there being no self and self just being a thought and a center just being a thought and there being no center, it's just really, there's nowhere to put your feet, but it's quite a kind of, claustrophobic is not the right word, but it feels quite really boring, because there's none of that juice of like the emotional spirituality going on. I'm just wondering if you have any take on what this is, or what like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes
Well, it
sense.
makes perfect sense why you'd feel it was boring. Because you want, I mean, this is like, I'm talking about the ultimate boredom for self. What have you been filling your life with, Stefan? All that work on yourself. I mean, without that, what the fuck are you going to do? I mean, in a very real sense, I mean, the boredom thing really resonates. What are you going to do? There won't be anything to work on. And when you said about reframing, I mean, there's something that self loves. I mean, self-love loves reframing because I like a new identity. As long as it's superior, of course, I don't like to go backwards, you know. It's whether it's a psychological path of progress or a spiritual path, as long as self has the sense of I'm moving forward towards something better, then self is very happy with that, you know. Even regression, of course, even going backwards is better than nowhere to go. So when I say this isn't what you want, I really mean that. This isn't what self would want. Self wants to better itself, to complete itself, to become a better self. However, self has framed that idea of what would be superior, what would be better, what would make me a better me. And what I'm speaking of is that can be juicy, as you put it. You know, there's a lot of juice in that for me. There's no juice in this for me. This is just juice. It's not juice for you. So, you know, I mean, I'm not suggesting stop framing. I haven't got a suggestion, but it makes sense why it might feel like boredom. If there's nowhere to go, if there's nothing to be reframed, Stefan, what are you going to do then?
Yeah, exactly. Because there is still the seeking of that new frame that offers more clarity or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it's the words claustrophobically boring. There's literally, yeah, you said it basically. Yeah. But I mean, is it barren there? Is it in that experience on there? I mean, I'm just curious, I suppose. I don't know, but like,
Yeah. Well, this doesn't, I mean, I'm really struck by your reframing, because this doesn't, you know, there is no frame. There's nothing to be reframed. This doesn't have a frame. This doesn't have I mean, a frame is a good word because it has a border, it has a boundary, it has an edge to it. And this is borderless, frameless. There's nothing, or there isn't any possibility of putting a frame around this.
yeah, it's kind of resonating with what you're saying. But yeah, it's again, the ego just takes that as another kind of, gets envious. But
Oh, don't be envious. There's nothing to be envious of. Not at all. But of course, if there's still it makes perfect sense why you say there'd be envy, because I spent years envying the special ones. and wanted to be where they are. Well, I'm very happy to tell you that's not possible. It might sound like being a bastard, but you know, that's compassion. There is no escape, and the whole reframing is just escapism. There's nowhere to go, Stefan, and no one to go there. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's perfect, man. Yeah, cheers.
Okay. I was just going to ask someone else if they wanted to say.
Sheer, yeah.
Sheer, yeah. Hi, Sheer. Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you again. It was amazing in Copenhagen. It was really
Thank you.
a beautiful feeling was that. That's all I have nothing else to say. Actually, you know, the seeking, you know, about the seeking. What is the difference between meditation or someone who is playing all his life? I mean, meditation is also sort of seeking. The seeking is still is a material.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think necessarily everyone uses meditation as seeking. I think some people just use meditation as they enjoy it. And there is a difference between doing something just because you enjoy it rather than where it's going to get you. Of course, a lot of people do use meditation as a method. But
I mean, myself, I just in my life, just most of my life, I just play, you know, bet and horses and all this kind of thing in my life. A casino. And I mean, it cannot be something else than the same material seeking. The seeking, the one who sits and meditate. I never did meditation. I don't know, but still, it's one thing. It's just something that you want.
yeah.
So I cannot see the difference. You know, I don't know. Or when you pray is also the wanting.
Mm-hmm.
God help me. I don't God do this. Or when someone go to pray, it's the same thing. It's just wanting. And wanting what?
Yeah. But I think, I mean, it's very natural for human beings to want love.
Yeah, I mean it's just wanting and wanting and wanting,
Yeah.
and there is nothing else than wanting, and also wanting is it's like somewhere else, you know. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
But here is also is a wanting. It's just one, you know. Just now when I sit here and talk with you, it's the. I mean, it's not. It's wanting in the same time. It's not wanting. It's just what it is.
It's just what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Razia has a hand up.
Razia. Hi.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Razia.
Glad to see you back.
And
Missed
you.
you. Yeah. So I was just thinking, I mean, thinking, obviously, that, I mean, there is a seeming difference in this play of life, we are looking at that they are special, that you said that there is not no one special, but yet there seemingly is. There is this hierarchy within this duality that we are experiencing. This hierarchy of sages and obviously seekers, and then people that don't even seek. So there is the seeming hierarchy that is happening. And even within sages, we have the 100 best sages. And right at the top, you have Eckhart Tolle. You know what I mean? So
oh, how dare you suggest he's at the top?
no, I mean that's what the 100
Are you talking in
most
financial
influential
terms?
spiritual. Yes. Obviously, I mean, I don't believe that Eckhart Tolle is the best, really. I mean, if you look at the fact that there are people out there who are not even visible, you know, who are not visible to the world and who are, I mean, obviously resonate at I don't know, I can't even compare. Like, I mean, that is judgment, right? But there is a truth in that judgment as well, that there are people who are not visible and who have not been taken into account. But there is this kind of specialness that does pervade the dream, which
it can seem like that. Yeah, that's true.
I lost Razia. Did you lose her as well? Oh, she's back there. Yeah, you can unmute.
Razia, we've lost you there.
Yeah, Razia, you dropped out and then you came back. You'll need to unmute.
Okay.
yeah, I just keep getting thrown out of meetings for some reason.
I didn't throw you out, Razia.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, I'm saying it's happening spontaneously.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing now. I mean, like we are saying to people that there is nothing special about sages or saints, but I mean, what we are seeing out there and what we are, it's a different story. It's, right. And then with that is, why do certain people have certain powers or gifts or whatever you call it, and others don't? Right. And that's the thing now. I mean, it's like there is this whole thing about why, and obviously it'll always come back to the question of why me, you know, or why am I like this, or why have like you would have also at some stage in your life have asked yourself, why are you manifesting a whole lot of seekers in your life? You know what I mean? And
well, really, what happened? All I can say to that is the why questions just don't appear. I just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know why, but there's no asking why. Everything is just as it seems to be. So what seemed to stop was the one you wanted to know why.
Yes, yeah, that is also, I mean, a good way of looking at it. Like, who wants to know what? Who?
Yeah.
And who is it that is showing us a dream that has a hierarchy in it? You know what I mean? And why are we being? Why is this showing us this now? It's obviously that there is a mandate. The mandate is that every manifestation in your dream has to somehow realize this, right? And that's what I feel that's why this hierarchy. It's showing. It's like there is this movement, evolution, that we are evolving, and we're getting to the stage where like you now, Tim, are like completely identified with thisness. You are thisness, you know, that kind of a thing. And so obviously now, when this happens to you, initially you'll say, why? I mean, like this person now says, now he is bored. We all are bored. We all get bored at some stage. But the thing is, what takes over at that particular point is that the service kind of a thing comes in, where you are now thinking, how can I share this? How can I help others? Obviously, there is no persona there, but that is what the persona is doing. The purpose, the role you play after that. So that's where the boredom, like, because now the interest is in now saying, hey, how can I do this or help someone, or, you know, share what I know what to do. And knowing at the same time that this persona is simply playing the role on the stage called life, and that there is nothing happening. But then the boredom goes, because you're not you're playing your role. That's the role we play. I don't know. Maybe I've made a whole lot of assumptions, like Neville Goddard.
Well, I would. well,
but,
really,
but,
there's no one playing any roles.
Yeah, but like I was listening to this woman, Byron Katie. You know, this whole week I listened to her. I said, I mean, I looked at and there's something so special about her, because she goes out there and she has a method, obviously, but there is this seeming fulfillment in her life, you know, like she's doing something that is so fulfilling, you know. And kind of like when I come to the meetings, I initially has to be so frightened to actually talk and be in a meeting. But gradually you start to feel that joy, because when you leave the meeting, there's like this ecstasy, this bliss that you feel, you know, which is so amazing when you are with others. Because where two or more are gathered, I am is, you know, that kind of a thing. And the beauty of that's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, Rosie.
Kate has a hand up.
Kate.
Oh gosh, I think I don't know what it was now. That was a Hi, Tim. That was a beautiful, beautiful opening.
Why, thank you.
It's a beautiful opening. And I don't remember what I wanted to say, except for that. Yes, that feeling of claustrophobia that Stefan spoke of, that sounds very familiar. But then it's like he said, he asked you, is it barren there? And that's the thing, is that it's sort of like there isn't a there, you know?
Yeah.
There's no there.
No.
There's no there. And that is where I feel like I got hung up for quite a long time. People, you know, just like Stefan said, making a foggy, beautiful, misty thing. That can be there. That's your there for a while. Mm-hmm. Nothing there. So there is no there, but with regard to the boredom here, my experience has been that without someone to feel boredom, it's not boredom,
no.
You know. And there can be that sort of, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I'm slowly discovering that, oh, well, you just have a lot of, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but you do have the energy to play more and maybe order a Halloween costume that you normally would have talked yourself out of, because that's what that would do, right? So you play more and you put it on and you're like, oh, I like this. And it goes back to the only evidence of any truth being is your life, the expression of your life, but ironically it's not yours. I mean, it's like, but you are the revelation. You are it. It's not something to be revealed, you know. It's so, oh, it's beautiful. Your talk was beautiful. This is all beautiful. There's no hierarchy. No, 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 no. All expressions are it. All are it. And okay, that's all I'm going to say. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, nice. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Anna. You need to unmute, Anna. Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, that's
Can you
good.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I missed the opening. I mixed up the time. I don't know. I thought you'd start 7:30.
No, all my Thursday meetings are at 7.
I know. I'm confused.
British time.
I'm confused. I've been thinking a lot about my and maybe a lot of people's addiction to doing things that feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I think that might even be a human thing. Like we can create things that feel really good, like hitting a chord on the guitar in a good way. It feels good, or I don't know, running, or I don't know. And then these moments change, and there's times of really not feeling good. And I was wondering, you said before the one who was asking why disappeared.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, do you still, like this Tim Buddy character, do you still like hunt for feeling good?
Yeah.
And you do.
I wouldn't hunt's maybe not the word.
Okay.
Well, I'm maybe not quite as much of a hunter as
no, hunting is maybe not
positive experience as I used to be, but do I still desire, pleasure? Yeah, definitely. And
hunting is not the right word.
In a very easy way. So, you said running. If I could run, I'd be running because I got really high as a kite running when I was young. If I could play tennis, I would play tennis because you hit a backhand cross-court topspin. Oh, my fucking word, there is no better feeling. But now I have to sort of, I have to resign myself to just hitting a golf ball. And that's where I get, that's where most of my highs.
Maybe what my question is more like, I've been lately experiencing that, like, my strategies of doing things that make me feel good didn't work, and I was like, I easily slip into the really low depression side of like feeling really high and good or feeling really depressed. And did that change for you? Like, or do you know that kind of really high, really low?
Oh, I really do know that, Anna. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much a description of my life.
Yeah. So, and if it's really low, I don't know how often you experience that. Is it like, does it feel different? Because I feel like is something like a purpose and meaning in my life is to not get into that deep dark hole and at least stay on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that change for you?
Well, I could say it's changed, but then it's not changed in the way that maybe that I would have. So whatever we're calling this, I never know which word is the most appropriate. this seeming change where there's no sense of life is happening to me and that I have a life and that I'm the possessor of life.
Mm.
I mean, I will say, I mean, I didn't even notice. It just stopped appearing, and I didn't even know that it stopped appearing because, of course, it wasn't actually ever there. This is the hardest thing to talk about, the change, because really there is no change. But I can remember how dreadful the highs and lows of mood were for me, because I think mood is a very natural human component of
It's human. That's what I think.
How it is to be human. You know, sometimes the mood is high and sometimes it's low. That still is the case.
And seems to be a human thing. Like,
yeah, but I will say, what has gone is the fear of it.
okay,
I was very afraid of feeling low because what it meant about me. It said I was a failure. I'm doing something wrong. There is something wrong with me because there's this low mood.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen anymore. That story, that sense of the mood indicates that something is right or wrong. So high mood, when I was high, I would say that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing something right, that my life is on track. And then when I was low, then I've made a mistake and there's an error. And so I was very afraid. And that fear fed the low mood. And, you know, I mean, I'm no expert in depression, but for me, that is the nature of self.
Yeah, my question
is,
if
I say that I made a mistake, then of course that is
is there a lot of hands up, or can I ask another question?
Yeah, go on then.
So I'm really thinking about, I know there's no meaning and purpose, blah, blah, so many times, but why in the world is that like a human species experiencing these things, even suicide? You know, there's no animals doing suicide, committing suicide. And why is this happening? Like, why is this human condition invented? Why? I don't know.
Who are we going to blame, Anna? Who do you want to blame? Who should we blame?
Well, yeah, in the history of this planet, it's just a tiny little second that this appeared, but it's amazing, isn't it?
It is, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the whole sense of self is the most amazing.
Yeah, but why?
I mean, there is. I mean, isn't self all the more amazing for it not being real?
Say it again.
I mean, you say it's amazing, and it is amazing, but it's even more amazing when there isn't a self.
But you're telling me you still experience these kind of feelings, blah, blah, blah. It's still there without the feeling of self. But
no, it wouldn't, because self isn't, you know, it's nothing. Nothing is anything to do with me.
Yeah, but still you have human experiences, human feelings.
Well, without me, there is just being human rather than me being human. But, you know, you're not going to lose anything by not being me.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so I mean, the whole sense of enlightenment, then there will just be bliss. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the full gamut of being human. It's everything. All feelings.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I want to thank you for putting up all this YouTube Copenhagen stuff. This is really lovely.
Oh, thanks, Anna. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I have stuff to listen to on the weekend. I couldn't make it to Copenhagen. Well, thanks a lot for that.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, has his hand up?
Hi, Shia.
Yeah, it's me again. I was thinking just to ask you about childlike wondering. What's that?
Sorry, I didn't get that, Shia. Say that again. Can you speak up a little bit?
I said childlike wondering.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
What is that?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Have you been around any small kids lately? Have you,
Yeah.
have you seen kids when they first come across?
The only thing I see, the human being, which I love, is the children.
Yeah, that's really what I'm talking about. So, I mean, surely you must. I don't think there's anyone who hasn't got memories of the first time they saw something and that it was so extraordinary. We're talking, I had an obsession with ants as a kid. I'm sure some of you did. I could just watch ants for hours. And then I would, and then I would try and interfere in their ant world, and I would make little roads. I would make little paths and see if I could, and then I'd try and corral them. I'd make like borders, so I'd put sticks and I'd try and influence the ant world. But just the fact that human beings were walking around, I had this realization, I'm talking when I'm like 4 or 5 probably, that there was this entire other world that is utterly oblivious to our world, my world. I had no idea that there were, it was so clear that ants didn't know. I was just, I don't know, some godlike giant that came and disturbed their world and fucked about with it for an hour or 2. But it was very clear that they knew nothing of me. And in that, there wasn't me, there was just this wonder. There is, I mean, children don't have a sense of me. It's an embryonic thing around, children who are 4 or 5, there is a sense of it, but for a lot of the time, there's just this childlike wonder with no sense of. And by the way, you don't have to be aware of the wonder to be in childlike wonder. There's just the wonder.
Just the wonder.
You don't have to know the wonder. The wonder is that you don't know.
Yeah. Because it's happened here sometime that there is seeing, but nobody is seeing. See what I can say? It's just seeing, but not sense of the me. It's just how I can say it's happened now those days. It's just sitting. I just look at today. It doesn't matter what. It's like you become a concentrated, but it's not concentrated either.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's happened like this sometimes. I can sit for hours and just. I mean, before I always did something, to do something. But now it's just sometimes I just sit and just sitting, and seeing, but I cannot say even what I see.
No.
It's just seeing.
Well, really, I mean, this can be obvious that there's no one seeing, and then you could say there's just seeing. But really, even saying there's seeing is saying too much.
It's like
because there really isn't seeing without a seer.
Yeah.
You could literally, you can't say, because what's seen, if there isn't a separate seer, what's seen isn't really being seen. It's just there. It's just here. It's not being seen. The being seen is just in relation to seen and seer. And if that goes, then really even saying seeing is too much.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds slightly ridiculous.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who hasn't spoken? Natalie?
It doesn't sound that ridiculous, does it?
No,
I
it
mean,
doesn't sound ridiculous at all.
not
It's just
really.
how it is.
Yeah.
But I know to most people it will sound ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I thought.
Yeah.
You're dead right, Darren.
Yeah.
Because there is, I mean, without a seer, there isn't seeing, is there?
No.
No. But then you can't say what there is.
No. Well, you can. But, you know.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, Natalie, hasn't said anything.
Let's say hello to Natalie.
Hi. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Well, I've got
glad
a bit
you had
of
your
a cold,
meeting.
but I'm fine.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I don't know. I just really wanted to say hi to you, but I'll just share something. You know, you talk sometimes about the tears, and sometimes it's like they just appear, and just endless tears, just, you know, and not even really caring if they stop or if they continue, you know. And it's just so amazing how, like Kate, she just spoke, she just saw something I wrote. I think it was when you weren't having your meeting, and I was really tearful. There was just a lot of tears that day, and just something I wrote on there, and she just messaged me and, you know, said, let him go, because, you know, there's no reason for the tears. There doesn't need to be a reason.
No.
Just tears. And she said something so beautiful. She said, everything cries. And I just loved that, because that just, I don't know why I loved it. It was just so pure, beautiful.
That's lovely. Yeah.
That's all.
Quite a lot of the time when I cry or when there's tears, then I don't know. I can't give a subject to the tears. I can't say what the tears, who are they for? The best I would have is that it feels like they're for everyone. And of course that includes me.
Yeah. It's like the innocence of seeing all the trying and all the work, trying to get it and work it out. And it's just, it's just so, I don't know, there's something heartbreaking.
Oh no, the whole, everything about this, which we don't talk about much in non-duality meetings. I talk about it a bit, but it's not talked about much. We're talking about completely heartbreaking.
It just feels like something's being ripped open.
How much more heartbreaking can it be than it's all been for nothing? I defy anyone not to tear, you know. There were times I didn't think the tears would stop, but of course, you know, they do.
They do. And then they come back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know, because this isn't an ending, you know, because the whole thing is that, oh, you get to a point where there will be no more tears. Well, life's not like that, because this isn't a destination. This isn't a resting place. This isn't a place. This doesn't come to a conclusion.
Not at all.
No, none at all.
It's great to see you.
Oh, and you, Natalie.
Have fun in California. I wish I could go, but I'm going to be there on New Year's Eve. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
yes.
me too.
Yeah, much love.
Thanks. Well, how are we doing for time?
How are you doing, Tim?
to should we
Razia's got a hand up. How are you doing for time? Another quick one?
Razia?
Okay, I'll try and make it quick. Okay. Basically, I was just going to say this, that we all know the phrase mountain, no mountain, mountain again, simply implying that there is integration back into the dream, that we are not there, I'm all this, I'm living as this, you know, kind of thing. We get back into the dream, we carry water, chop wood, and we do everything else. And at the same time, there is this kind of living in. Looking at this now, I have to balance my checkbook and obviously feeling this. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that this integration back into the dream simply means that when we get back there, we see the dream as it is. We're not projecting anymore what we feel. We're not projecting our, maybe, I don't know, some people do, some don't, I don't know about it, but somehow you're seeing it much more clearly than you did before. And with that in mind, I feel that there is this kind of hierarchy that is existing within the world that makes it the way it is, you know, because within our minds, we have been conditioned to believe that there is a hierarchy. And as long as we believe that there is a hierarchy, it exists, you know.
Well, that's
it's all belief.
Well, that is all the hierarchy is. It's,
yeah,
just,
with most people.
It's just an idea or a belief.
Yes.
There is no, there is
idea, but
there is
idea
there is
is
no
so
hierarchy, but for those who
powerful.
believe it, then it's very real. Yeah.
Yes, it's very real.
Well,
so that's the thing, that's where people will worship, and where the specialness comes in, because people are willing to worship to get this. You understand? And I mean, it's, and like the first speaker spoke about this. He said, like we always feel that we do things because we feel it makes us feel good. Okay, but the thing is with this, with people who have experienced the shift, they don't do it because they feel good. You understand? Because they know they're not doing it. You understand that the basis there is that you're not doing it. You're not the doer.
I will say,
how would you feel good about it?
I will say, Rajia, I don't do many
Yeah.
things that make me feel bad these days.
Yeah, but I mean, as
I
when
try
you
and
take
avoid
ownership
those
of
like
it,
the
then
plague.
you say, yeah.
I
and then
one thing
and then the last one, sorry. No, this the last one was this child. This person spoke about being a child, and I said, yeah, I do feel like a child sometimes, because when I go out there and I feed the birds, and then it's like I am a child looking at the world.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that innocence and that love.
Well, we're all children.
But I can also question your beliefs.
Thanks, Rosie.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming, everyone. I'm not sure. I might do the Zoom from California next Thursday, as be adventurous. But I'll let you know that. If you would like to have email of the meetings, then, and you're not on the email list, then you can email me and I'll put you on the list. So I might do a meeting next Thursday. I'll let you know. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I'm in Folsom, Sacramento a week tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you're around, what I am thinking that I might record one of those. Could even put it on Zoom, but again, I'll let you know, so that you know if you'd like to come to that and you can't be there, then I might do that. And again, if I do that, I'll let you know. Thanks very much for coming, everybody. Lovely to see you all.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Take care.
Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Tim.
Cheers, mate.
Mm.